Angie. We're on. Hi.
Hey, Mary.
I was just checking to see all my windows were going. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. This is really exciting to be into the kind of the grand finale party, but we aren't really all done yet. The knit-along is still going for a few weeks. So
yes.
I'm going to start just by asking people. We're going to take a few minutes to let the room fill in. So I would really love it if people told me where you're coming in from, if you're knitting the knit-along project, and if you are knitting it, how it's going or how far along you are in it. So just pop it in the chat, and we'd love to hear from you. Yeah. I know it takes a few minutes for the rooms to fill up, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
you want to introduce myself, or were you? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I was going to wait a few minutes to see where people were coming in from before we do the introductions, because I don't want anybody to miss out here. I'm just seeing. Okay. And I've just been told that Facebook is live, which is great, and Instagram is live. That is wonderful. Yeah, I can't
remember the chats. All of them show up on this. I guess they do. And
somebody else. We have somebody coming in from Maine. I can see that right now.
Good.
Yeah. I know we have some pictures of some people who are knitting, and we'll be showing some pictures tonight. Christine King is in Minnesota, and it's currently 20 degrees. So 20 degrees is below freezing. I know, because I'm a Celsius girl. 20 degrees is pretty cold, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to be needing some knitwear there, Christine. And Annette is coming in from Texas, and she's working on the knit-along. That's wonderful. How far along are you, Annette? I actually think I might have your picture. And I see that Needler 67 is Cambridge, Ontario, and about halfway for the length that she wants. So that's excellent progress. Cambridge, Ontario is probably about half an hour from here. No, 45 minutes from me. So, sorry. I read Christine's post wrong. It's not 20 degrees in Minnesota. She's 20 inches into her scarf.
Okay.
This is really good, Christine. And I'm glad
she's got to be cold though too.
And somebody is Annette from Texas is saying she's about halfway done hers as well. So yeah, that's great. So we have a couple of people about halfway along. I know I got some comments in when section 3 was released on Monday, people saying, I'm not ready for this, which I totally understand, but the knit-along is not at all over. We have until the end of the month. We just needed to get all the sections out, and we wanted to get this party out before American Thanksgiving, because I know everybody here is going to be, all the Americans in the room will be very busy next week.
Yep.
Us Canadians will just be taking it easy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think we could probably get started. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Mary Martin, and I am the designer behind this knit-along. And I designed Fission knitting, which is a form of reversible knitting. We will talk about it some more. And I want to introduce my friend, Angie. I'm going to also pull up a picture of her bus. So Angie has, it's called Pearl. Is that the name of your bus?
That's right. That's exactly right. Her name is Pearl, and she has been a strategic partner for 6 years now. So, but we're based outside of Atlanta, in Metro Atlanta, and we do a lot of traveling via 4 hours or so, 4 to 5 hours away from my base. And we do shows and retreats and go and park in parking lots. And I've been known to feel like a drug dealer at times, because all these ladies will come in the truck and then they leave with their white bags going out the door. But so basically I am supplying for an addiction there, but it's just a little bit different. So
Yeah.
anyway, but it's great fun. I met a lot of great people, and I'm going to keep her running as long as I can.
Uh-huh. Well, it does, the idea of being on a bus and having it all packed in tight. I have been on one yarn bus before, and I just love the atmosphere with all that cozy yarn just sort of enveloping you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to get you in Pearl sometime soon.
Oh, well, I need to do some traveling.
That's right.
I do want to get south sometime. The winter will hit us soon. Yeah. I see a message here from Liz. I'm not
Yeah.
as far as that because I had to tear out some mistakes. This is a bear to tear out with the very small yarn. Oh, okay. I suggest people are told to use the safety line. So I just started the 12 row repeat today. Not sure I can finish by the end of the month as this takes some concentration and work. We shall see. I shall also suggest the first time someone does this, not do it on very fine yarn, very fiddly. Yeah,
I think it's the halo that's making it stick a little
yeah,
bit.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, that message is very big on my screen.
Yes, mine too. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I should show some other yarn that I've knit this on because I'll invite Julie on in a bit. But she was just telling me that she knit it on a thicker juniper moon farm, and I will show you what this looks like. If on a second project you want to try it on a different. So what we're knitting on is Harriet Fine, but this is on Harriet, which is the worsted weight version of this. It's basically the same yarn. Well, it does have a similar feel. I'm only doing this in one color because I only had one color of it, but you can see if you were to do it on this, it makes a really nice width of scarf, like a more, I'm really enjoying my scarflet, right? Like the little skinny scarves right now, because they're perfect for this in between weather. But if you did want to try this on something more substantial, it also works very well. And it would probably knit up a little faster as well. And I would consider this more of a winter wear it with a coat kind of size scarf. I got to show you this one just because the folks at Juniper Moon sent me several yarns to try. This is Harriet Great, which is just so squishy. So I don't even know what size needles these are on. I think they're like something like 13 millimeter needles, but like, look at the squish on that. So,
but it'll be even squishier if you were marling it, or are you holding?
I am marling. This is how
you are.
This is exactly the same pattern, except I only had one color. So like the design is all the same color, but you can see how you can. Squishy. So, I was going to talk about it further on in this discussion, like what you can do with the pattern after you're done with this. Like if you're just want to try more stuff or something like that, that you could just try it with different weights of yarn and you'll get a very different scarf, right? Which is kind of fun. Like I love those patterns that don't really set a gauge so that you can do what you want.
That's exactly right. Because you can make it in different weather. Depending on your weather, you can use different yarn.
Yeah. Well, if somebody really does have minus 20 degree weather, they might want the heavier one. And you probably won't want anything more than this, will you?
No, I'm enjoying it, but I get the stickiness. But I've used fingering weight most of the time, and it works out really well. So, and I didn't have problems ripping out before my first time, but I think it's just that halo that's
I think you do get used to working with that alpaca because the halo. I can see if maybe you aren't as used to it, it's kind of scary at first, but you get used to it, and I just love the halo on the juniper.
Oh, it is pretty.
It's very, very pretty. Well, I'm going to jump into some more of what I plan to talk about. I just want to show people what I'm wearing today because I'm wearing a different length of scarf than I wore last week. And this one I tend to wear closed with my little maple leaf, Canadian maple leaf clip. And Oh, I have somebody on here, and her scarf is now 32 inches long, and she's going for 42 inches.
With that
That's
Lynn from
wonderful.
Wisconsin too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what was interesting was on the last live event we had, I showed that I was doing a scarf with a little buttonhole in it. And so many people wrote me and said, you know, where's that version? I want to make the buttonhole version. So I did finish it. It's done here, this one, and I have these buttons on it. But I made a second one, and I just wanted to show people what I have going here, and I needed some opinions. So I've been on a bit of an obsession with vintage buttons recently. I didn't even know vintage buttons were a thing until about a month and a half ago, and I have since accumulated a little stash of them. So I was going to ask people for their opinions on what they thought I should see put on this scarf that I've just done. You can see it's got a little buttonhole here, and these may be my favorite. These are some pretty mother of pearl buttons that I bought when I was in London a few weeks ago. And so that's one of my choices. But you can see I can take that same button, and you don't have to put the same button on both sides, but it looks quite different on the other side because you have a really different coloring, right?
Yeah.
So I actually think this button is pretty on this side, but I actually like a darker button. Oops, let me see if I can get it in here. I should have taken them off of the cards. These are more vintage buttons that I bought in London. She told me they were horn, which I don't really know what she means by horn. Like, I guess horn off of an animal of some kind. But I thought the darker button was prettier on this side.
Yeah.
And so, and then this is more buttons that I bought. I bought some various glass buttons. And I actually like the warmth. See, these glass buttons have a bit of gold on them. I thought the gold looked really good with the warmth of this scarf.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought maybe we'd ask people if they wanted to put in the chat which they thought I should use on this. And
can you put those two buttons on the white side? I'd like
to want to see what these look like on the white side.
Yeah,
you see, I'm a little worried that the glass ones fade out a bit on the white side.
Oops, push it up a little. Yeah.
Do you think they fade out too much?
Nope. I agree that I like it on the other side. I like that gold.
I like this gold too. So maybe I should do a gold on this side. Would it be weird to have very different buttons on it each side, do you think? I kind of do like the mother of pearl though. I think
I like that on the white, yeah.
Yeah. So, but would it be
strange? How do you put two buttons? I'm sorry, I'm not seeing that. How do you just attach the buttons and there's a hole in each or in one side, right?
Yeah, so there's a hole in this end, and then I'm going to sew one button on this one.
Got it.
So I would probably maybe I should do a mother of pearl button on this side, and then sew this gold one on that side. Yeah. Anyways, if people have an opinion on what I should do, just let me know in the chat. But actually, I think it's Chris, who was commenting in the chat earlier. She emailed me today, and she had a great suggestion. She suggested that I put a buttonhole on each end of the scarf. And then I could just attach two buttons together like this, like a cufflink. And then I wouldn't have to decide. And I could change them up all the time. Right? And use it like a cuff. If there was a hole on each side, I just loop it through both holes. And that would work.
Well, Suzanne likes the gold button and the mother of pearl.
Okay.
And Liz likes to do a different button on both sides. So I agree. I think that makes it fun.
Yeah, I didn't even think about a different button on each side. Let me go back to my regular camera so I can actually talk to you properly here. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I wish I had thought of Chris's idea earlier, I think on the next one I make, I'm going to put 2 buttonholes on, and that way I can just change up. Like the buttons would almost become like a clip or an accessory that I could just
Exactly.
change up, and maybe I would change it up with the outfit I'm wearing. So that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I just wanted to, this is a bit of a downer, my next announcement. When we were coming in, I just wanted to mention something. When we were coming in, there was a great little slideshow from a yarn store. She had some beautiful pictures. It was on that intro video, and we'll play it again later in the session. So this evening, we had another yarn store who was supposed to join us. And the owner's name is Dorothea. And she owned a yarn store called Yarn Seasons. And Yarn Seasons burned down last Wednesday. So those beautiful pictures of her kickoff party, she had a kickoff party and a photographer in for this knit along. He took the most beautiful pictures, and you can see in the pictures how warm and welcoming that store is. So my heart really goes out to Dorothea right now. At this time, she is unsure. She says she will definitely open up again, but she's not sure what format she's going to open up in. I just wanted to mention her because she was really, really excited about this knit along. And I would love to support her when she does reopen, because it's, she's going to have some time off. And yeah, so anyways, I'm hoping that, everybody in the knit along and I stay in touch, and I will definitely be writing about, probably in my newsletter, about what Dorothea does with Yarn Seasons, because I can't imagine her loss. And her first words to me were like, I've lost all my samples. And when she said that, I I'm not a yarn store owner. I didn't really, I had never really given much thought to how much time she must have had invested in her samples, right? And that's really irreplaceable. So, yeah. Anyways, that was just my little announcement about Yarn Seasons. I am going to jump into a few other announcements. So I'm going to take over the screen here a bit. And as you know, this is a knit along that there's going to be prizes. And shortly after our last kickoff party, the prizes were announced. And I just want to put this list up here. I don't know if you can all read it on your little screens, but I'll just quickly read it to you. From Likey, there's 2 Pendel. Pendels are this thing that you can pull your yarn off of. They're really cool. There's also some interchangeable needle sets. There's 2 of those. There's some project bags, 2 of those. And then from Juniper Moon Farms, there's going to be, it looks like 8 yarn prizes, which sounds pretty incredible. So very exciting to have these prizes. And thank you very much to Knitting Fever for sponsoring all this. So let's talk about how you can enter to make sure you get in on some of those prizes. All you need to do is, so we are like just barely over halfway. I know some of people are nervous because they aren't that far on their knitting yet. I think you will find that once you've done the first repeat, it goes a lot quicker. But you have until November 30th. And even if you aren't quite done, if you're almost done your project, just send in a picture and to social media at knittingfever.com, and just put your name and your contact details there so they can get in touch with you if you are a winner. And we'd love to see what you come up with. Yeah, what else do I have here? Other things that I just want to make sure you're all aware that the pattern that you have, those web pages where you have the free pattern, that is only available till the end of the knit along. If you think that if you aren't quite done or you want to knit it again, feel free to screenshot it. Like, just screenshot. I'm happy for you to have that, keep that free version. I don't consider that a problem. But when you're screenshotting, there are so many drop-down menus with extra hints. Just make sure you open up all those menus and screenshot those as well. If you don't want to do that and you would like a copy of the pattern, you can purchase it. It's the Falling for Fission scarf on Ravelry. And there's links to all this at the bottom of the Cal pages. But because, so you can get the pattern. The pattern is 40% off. And actually, I put 40% off on all my Fission knitting patterns until November 30th so that you can pick up. We'll talk a little bit more later in this evening about different patterns that might be suitable for you to try after you finish this one. So anyways, all this information is also available at the bottom of all the knit along pages. So don't worry about writing it down or trying to remember this. It's all there for you. I would also love it. Almost forgot about this. Right now, because I have a pattern sale on, this is a free pattern. This is also a beginner pattern that you can pick up. It's currently free. It's a free download. It's called the Flowing River Cowl. And I highly recommend this as, another pattern that you can try if you're interested in Fission knitting. And we'll talk about why this is also a fairly easy pattern for you to do. And this is a cowl that Angie's wearing, a very similar shaped cowl, and she'll show us how you wear that later. It's a really comfy cowl to wear. And what else do I have to tell you? Oh, yes. And please keep in touch. And you can keep in touch with me by subscribing to my newsletter. And when you do that, you'll get a free pattern as well. So those are my announcements for today. I am just going to bring Julie up on the screen. Hi, Julie. Oh, you're muted right now, Julie. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, there we go. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Some of you might remember Julie from our last live party. She is the owner of Yarn Bits and Bobs. And just tonight, I found out that she started life as a yarn store owner in a yarn truck as well. Little different than Angie's, though, mostly because of the weather, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you move into a brick and mortar store,
Angie? 2 years ago.
And how's that going?
Oh, it's great. There's nothing like consistent temperatures and running water.
Yes.
Angie knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I like it. Well, personally, I like going to yarn stores for knit nights with running water and easy access bathrooms and things like that. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's, I've got establishing a pretty good following, and brick and mortar. Yeah, there's, like Angie said earlier, there's trade-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you've knit a few of my designs, Julie, and I see that Angie's wearing something. Can you tell us what you're wearing, Angie?
Yeah, this is the Comet Trails cowl. So I love it. I'm going to take it off. I need to be careful. My glasses will pop off. But this started out to be just a long square or a rectangle. And I'll be honest, I wanted to keep going. So I've looked at something that I can keep going. I don't know why you get addicted to the stitch. So here's the orange side and then the pink side. And once I had someone show me how to put it together, I thought, oh, okay, I get it now. But you can wear it several ways. You can depend on what you want. See, I told you. Bless you.
Oh, you're wearing a different side out now.
Okay, I'm glad you can tell that because I forgot which one was which. But you can do all kinds of things with it. Now, mine was a little shorter than what you had in the pattern, just because I guess it, I thought I was finished. But anyway, it's just a little snugger. It's not killing me. but I like it like this. But you can make it longer and it'll drape a little more.
So I'm
And
going to
mine,
put mine on.
okay.
I
And
have
mine
one
are made
here.
with 2 fingering weight yarns. So
Mhm.
that makes it a DK with the marl. It's nice. Feel comfortable.
Yeah. And I think you probably used about half a skein, would you
Oh,
say, of
I don't think I used hardly. I would say right. Well, no, I think I used less than that. I honestly do. It was
yeah.
and maybe not. Maybe if I got into 30 inches or whatever, it would have been a half a skein. But yeah, I could get 2 out of this easily.
Yeah. So what Angie's wearing is the same construction as what I call the flowing marls, which is that free pattern that you can pick up right now. So, you know, you
Beautiful.
can wear this in different ways, and it has like the zigzags in different places. So when I flip this around, it those zigzags show up in different places around my neck. So it's kind of fun to wear. I remember when we were photographing these knits for, you know, the pictures, the pattern pictures, we had to like have a little pad of paper and write which way we were folding it because we couldn't keep track of like, so what we were showing. And so that's what makes it kind of fun to wear is, you know, you sort of take it off and you put it back on and it'll be slightly different. And yeah, it's kind of fun that way. So what Angie took a class with me about how learning to fission knit. So Comet Trails is, I'm just going to talk a little bit about where you can go now that you've already started fission knitting and what projects might be accessible to you. So the Comet Trails cowl is a cowl that the motif is a motif that I designed just for teaching purposes. So it teaches you everything that you need to know to like kind of try the hardest patterns. The motif that you're knitting right now in the Falling for Fission scarf is an easier motif. And I just want to show you why it's an easier motif. So I'm going to change to my other camera and show you this. So this is the chart of what you are knitting right now. And you can see if I highlight this chart, this on this side is the pattern for the one side of your scarf. So this is what you see on one side of the scarf. Okay. And this is what you see as your pattern on the other side of the scarf. These are your cables for the other side of your scarf. And the reason why I would say that this is an easier pattern is because you'll notice that those blue cables and those pink cables don't cross each other. Okay. Yes. And I'm going to just show you this chart. And so the Falling for Fission scarf is a part of the Fission Festival. And I'll show you what this pattern is for. So if I look at this one, you can see that the cables on this go this way. But on the other side, you'll have it crossed cables that go like that. And do you see how these cables on one side of the fabric will cross over the cables on the other side of the fabric? And that's a complexity that we haven't encountered here on the Falling for Fission scarf. And I'm just going to show you what that was. So that chart that I just showed you was this scarf, and this is called Fission Frolic. Okay. And just so you know, like this is the Juniper Moon Farm. If you still have some left over from this project, I highly recommend you use it to make the next 2 projects in the Fission Festival, because you can see here, you have these cables and they go the full width of the scarf. right? So a cable will go from one side of the scarf all the way across to the other side. And they cross over the cables on the back. And that's what makes Fission knitting really, really interesting, is that we can take two different, completely different motifs and layer them on top of each other. Okay. And, you know, the purpose, well, I guess the purpose of having this knit along, or for me designing the Falling for Fission scarf, was to introduce you to the basics. So hopefully if you're knitting the scarf, you're starting to get the hang of making those design stitches, knitting through the back loop with just one color. And as you do that, you can then progress on to the more complex designs. I just want to show you some of the other designs that you can try with this. Oh, sorry. So here we have, this is the free pattern that we had, is the flowing, you can see it in the Flowing Marl series. There's 3 cowls in the Flowing Marl series. And what they do is, with each cowl, you progress and you learn to do some more stitches. So you get to the point where you, on this one, is the most complicated one in the Flowing Marl series. And you can see it has this design on one side and a completely different design on the other side. And so you learn these designs. So this design is the same design that you learn when you do the Flowing River, and then you can do the second hardest pattern, which is this one, and you can learn this design, and then you just learn on the third pattern to put them together. And these cowls are all like what Angie's wearing. So they each take about half of a skein of yarn. You can do it with the Juniper Moon. It would work great. It would make, you know, a really, really cozy one with that alpaca in it. And those are just ways that you can learn to put those together. And there was also on there, we have the Fission Festival, which is you're doing the one scarf, the Falling for Fission, and I showed you the next one. And then the red one in the corner there is the most complicated. And those cables on the front and the back cross a zillion times in the pattern. It's really kind of a fun one to do once you know what you're doing. And once again, the Juniper Moon yarn would be fabulous for it. Yeah. Anyways, does anybody have questions about any of the stuff that I've just talked about?
Mary, there's a question on Instagram.
Oh, could you read that for me?
Sure. So it's from Christine Knits. She says, to have a buttonhole on each end of the short scarf, would we just use the alternative rows 1 and 2 from the end and invert them on the starting end?
Yes. Yes. So like, I'm thinking of the starting pattern. You would work the starting pattern. You would use alternate rows 1 and 2 that I have at the end of the pattern. And then you would just continue on with rows 3 through 12 and then do your repeats. And when you're ready to end, you would use those alternate rows again. That's a great question. Maybe I will add that to the web pages, or maybe no, because you've all cast on now. I will update the pattern and give that all. I really love that kind of that alternate thing to do. So I'm going to add that to the pattern, Chris. I love the idea. Yeah. Thanks for asking the question. Does anybody else have questions?
Mary, I have just a question from one of the announcements you made. Do you send a finished picture to social media? I mean, to the Knitting Fever of your cowl, or just wherever you are? It needs to be finished.
We kind of said when we started this, a finished one, but then
okay.
The guy that I work with at Knitting Fever, his name is Anthony. He's a very relaxed dude. And he said, oh, so long as it's close to finish. So send us a picture wherever you are. We're really excited that, that you're
Okay.
knitting it, and we would love to see it. And we'll see how Anthony works with that.
Okay.
But I think he'd be very happy just to know that you were knitting with a juniper moon yarn. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, are there any other questions? Do you want to? I'm just getting really hot, so I'm going to take this off.
And everybody seems to like the different buttons on the other sides.
Oh, do they?
Uh-huh.
You know what? It's kind of funny. I don't know why I didn't even think of that from the start. Yeah, I'm just going to, since I was talking about, gosh, putting cowls on and off really messes up your hair.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about the free pattern that you can get. And I also mentioned that you could subscribe to my newsletter. Usually when you subscribe to my newsletter, you can also choose a free pattern, of which that Flowing Marls is one of the free patterns. So what I would suggest is that if you don't already have it, go download the free Flowing Marls pattern and then subscribe to my newsletter and choose a different free pattern. And I just want to show a different free pattern that you can choose. This is called Follow the Leader, and it is a different reversible technique that I have. And you know, it's just something else for you to learn. And you can see that this technique creates the same motif on each side of the fabric, and it's just different. It's something else to learn, and you can get another free pattern. Oh, I kind of forgot. I should show some pictures of people's works in progress and stuff like that. I forgot I had that. Let me put that up on the screen. Okay. Angie, I have yours up on the screen there.
I'm a little further along.
Oh, you have gotten a little further. That's looking really good.
Yeah,
so
I'm impressed with it. Except I got my needles all over. You can tell I went back some.
So I like to use interchangeable needles. Like I use interchangeable needles for everything. And I know when I was knitting this scarf, I just kept looking for the shorter cord so that my cord wasn't getting all twisted up in my work, because it's such a little project.
It is.
Right? The rows are so short. And if your cord's too long, you're just spending all your time like grabbing the other end of the needle.
That's right.
Yeah, so I've definitely looked for the shortest needles I have. I see that there's a few people sent me pictures of their cast-ons, which are really cute. And it's just fun to see all the different colors that are coming in on this, right? And like yours is like a tone on tone, and I can see somebody in the top right corner has, I think, 2 pinky yarns. And then I always like the saturated color and the neutrals. And I think we have some further progress here. Oh, and is this one who was this one, Julie? Was it somebody in your shop?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing good progress on that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a really nice color combination as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was making that in the Harriet, so the sport weight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it didn't look quite as light. And how does it feel? Is it nice and squishy then?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be nice and cozy.
Uh-huh. Those are great colors. Is she doing it for herself, do you know? Or
yeah, she is.
Love the colors on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's really Darlene has really taken to it, and she's really enjoying it. She said she was also taking a brioche class with us, and she said that she just put that away and she's now just focused on this.
Uh-huh. It's interesting because when I first started developing this technique, I really felt that it would appeal most to brioche knitters. Do you know what I mean? Like people who like playing with 2 colors. I know there's some people who just find having 2 balls on their needle just a bit much. Like there's people who are definitely 1 color knitters because they don't want to have 2 balls rolling around. But I thought brioche knitters tend to love that texture, you know, that really squishy texture. Mm-hmm. They kind of know how to wrangle 2 balls of yarn. I just always thought that this would really appeal to a brioche knitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really enjoying it.
Oh, I'm glad. And on the right of the screen, there's Bonfire Bookstore. I think her name's Kara Bonfire Bookstore. And she has a few people there knitting hers, knitting this as well. She is a very little yarn store, and she is both a bookstore and a yarn store. And she runs a ton of events. Like, it's amazing how much stuff she runs. So that's a lot of fun. And then I saw these really beautiful ones. I think Christine here, is this Chris who's been on the chat? I think. So she's made very good progress. I'm just seeing if she answers in the chat, if that's hers. And Valerie here, I think this is going to make just such the one on the left is just going to make such a nice dramatic, with the dark and the light will be nice and dramatic. And look at the progress here. The one that surprised me was Annette on the right. She is working with the Harriet Fine. Oh, Christine said, yes, that's hers. I just wanted to make sure I had the right names with everybody. Annette on the right there, she's using Juniper Moon. Can you see how fuzzy that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you can see it on your smaller screens, but hers is super fuzzy. And none of my, like, I've knit with several colors of the Harriet Fine, and none of them have been that fuzzy. So is yours that fuzzy, Angie?
No, but maybe just, I'm wondering if she took it out a little bit, maybe, or I don't know. Mine's not that fuzzy. But I will tell you this. I did have a little issue with the cast on. I don't know why, but so
Okay.
I did, and I kept at it, and I finally got it, and I had to cut my yarn because it had gotten so fuzzy.
Okay.
From me just ripping it back and starting over, and I just started clean. So, but yes,
Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't realize that the yarn would get fuzzier as you rip out. I don't tend to rip, like, I didn't rip out much. So, yeah, interesting.
But I'm not sure that's what hers has. That's just what mine did. So, but yeah, see the fuzziness.
Yeah. Anyways, you can see that there's been some really good progress on a few of
Colors
these.
are gorgeous.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yes.
Like, you know, I kind of, when the screen was put together, I was like, they're all kind of bluey, but look at how different they all look, even with them being blues, right? Like,
yeah,
just
Suzanne's is really, looks like it's a gray and blue, but it's gorgeous.
I think so, because I'm not sure I would have chosen Suzanne's colors because they aren't as high contrast.
Yeah.
But I think it's so subtly beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah.
And, you know, Lynn's on the left. I'm a real sucker for blue and green together like that. So I really like that one too.
Yeah.
So anyways, some really nice progress here. And I can see these people are well on their way to getting this done. And then
she said she hadn't frogged it back, Annette said so.
Oh, she hadn't.
So it's just little halo, little fuzz.
Interesting, Annette. Okay. And then we did get our first FO in just, I think yesterday, somebody sent this. Isn't that amazing? And it doesn't even look like she made a really short one. It looks a good length to me.
Mm-hmm.
So she has been knitting hard, I think. Isn't that pretty with the pink?
Yeah, I
love that too. It's kind of funny. I'm sure it's just lighting, but her cast on, the colors look quite different there.
Yeah, they do.
The photography. Yeah, I love how the it's almost got a bit of a fluorescent look, the pink to it, and the way it shows up under the blue, I find it quite stunning.
Yeah.
Those are just a few of the slides. Yeah.
Have you I just purchased, I've been wanting to look at that leaf, the one, your secret garden wrap. So
okay.
how do you have that?
I do have that. I have that right behind me because I got to say, this is probably one of my most knit patterns, despite it being one of the hardest. And I will show you what I mean by
Oh no.
Well, you know what?
I thought you
So-
said it was not as hard, but
So the thing is, Angie, is
Okay.
once you learn fission knitting and you
Right.
learn those rules, like I'm hoping that as people are knitting this, they start getting the feeling of
Mhm.
you purl those background stitches, you knit through the back loop, those design stitches are facing the front, and you slip the design stitches that are facing the back. I'm hoping that as you practice that, that really gets ingrained, because when you get to a more complicated piece like this, so this has leaves on one side, which is the leaf side of my secret garden, and I put a fence on the other side, right?
Yeah.
But despite, so, you know, when I write patterns, I never know what to tell people in terms of how hard they are or whatever, but I do, when you go on the pattern page of this, I say, you know, I highly recommend that you try another fission knit first. I've had so many people knit this as their first fission knit,
Oh.
and they'll all say the first repeat requires so much concentration, but then it just gets better, right? Because really, once you do the first repeat,
Yeah.
you've done all the stitches, you know you can do it, and you
Right.
just have to do it over again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
And your patterns are so well written. So, you know, and I'm a reader. I don't use the chart. I
okay.
read. And I always know, I mean, even though I'm saying, no, there's not a stitch here,
Yeah.
I go back and I said, no, Mary says there is. And so I'll look and it's hidden or it's real close to the other one. And I'll go, trust the
Yeah.
pattern. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they're well written. So I think anyone can get through it if they know those 3 rules.
I think the 3 rules are really key. And I also think I've always been a believer that like knitting patterns, like it could be a sweater or it could be like a really complex construction or something like that. Like I know some people tell you to read to the end of the pattern first. I can't do that. I don't do that. I read like a few steps ahead, try to picture it, and then I know that it will all make its way to the end. Like
Right.
knitting is about a little step at a time, right?
Yeah.
Like just getting that next step in. Like I know, Julie, you've knit something like some more complicated stuff, like the woven stuff.
Right.
It's also like recognizing those stitches and
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Christine has another question.
Oh, sure.
She says, I have a mistake question. If I missed a crossover, so like C1B, since traveling stitches are on the surface, can I do a focal drop down, cross the 2 stitches and work them back up again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Christine, you will find that when you drop those stitches down, it is so much easier to drop those stitches down than just about any other stitch. You know what? I'm going to grab my knitting and show you something about dropping stitches down then, because, and this is,
these are great patterns to learn to read your work too. I mean, it really is.
Okay, can you all, I wasn't planning on showing this. This is another kind of knitting that I do, but this has a lot of similarities to fission knitting that you're doing. I'm going to drop these stitches off my needles. And these are slip stitches, just like the slip stitches that are on your, like on the scarf that you're making. And look at what happens when I pull these stitches off. So, you know, when you're dropping stitches down, you're always worried that you're going to lose that yarn that you need to pick it back up on. The thing about slip stitches, and this isn't just with my patterns, it's with all slip stitches that you do, the rest of the knitting holds those loops in place. Those loops will never run away on you. Do you know what I mean? Like I can tug on this, those loops are not going to disappear on me. So when it's time for me to pick those back up, so Christine, when you're looking to pick them back up, what I recommend you do is, those are the stitches that you drop down. I'm just grabbing a stitch holder. So you grab a stitch marker and then you catch those stitches. And I do this just, when you drop down, you're always worried you're going to lose those stitches or they drop too far. Just catch them on a stitch holder and then organize your loops. So you have them in the right order that you want to pick them back up in. And then you can just start to pick them back up. Okay. So you just work them back up like as you would any other knitting that you do. But really don't be nervous about dropping those design stitches down, because it will be very easy to pick back up because your loops will be very obvious for you. Hoping that makes sense. I'm not going to pick those up right now because they'll just take me a bit of time, but yeah.
But that's beautiful. Is that something new coming?
Oh, this is what I call woven knitting, and my newest techniques have to do with using slip stitches. So slip stitches, just like you're using for fission knitting, and I use them to replicate a woven fabric.
Wow, beautiful.
So I'm a beginner weaver, and I'm fascinated with all the different designs that you can get in weaving just by changing the colors in your warp and weft, and also the weave structure, with the weave structure being the way you cross the stitches, the threads in your weaving. And so I'm trying to replicate that with this woven knitting.
Okay.
Christine knits, she says it's sort of like brioche. I don't really know how to fix brioche mistakes, Christine. I'm not that confident, so I couldn't really say there. But, it is like you do have to work each of the colors back up. Yeah, it probably does have a lot of similarities to brioche. Yeah. What else can I show you? Is there anything else you want to see in the back?
Oh, they're all pretty.
Yeah.
I like that blue and the blue and white.
At the top?
Yeah.
Actually, can I just take a second to tell you another kind of my other favorite knit? And I'll tell you why this one's really special to me. So I've often been asked why I started designing and how I got into reversible knitting. And the first designs that I made were, I did my first designs because a friend of mine had breast cancer and I didn't know how to help her. So I said I would make chemo caps for her. And then I got bored with making chemo caps. And my first thing that I designed for her was I made a little chemo cap and I put the breast cancer ribbons on it. And then, but really, that's all in good. We were all cheering for her to do well with her chemo. But really what I wanted to say was, and I'm going to say it, I don't know if this is going to cause a problem on YouTube and all that, but I really wanted to say F cancer, right? And I wanted to make a hat so she could wear the cancer ribbons on the outside. And I wanted her to have a hat where it would say that on the inside.
Oh, how cool.
When I first started designing, I didn't know that it was possible to put different designs on each side of the fabric. And it took me about 5 years to figure out fission knitting and how to do this. Wow. And this is kind of the absolute hardest pattern of my fission knitting designs, because there's no repeats in here. Everything's different. And anyways, this is the work I'm proudest of. And good. I feel like it got my reversible knitting to the place I wanted it to get to. And actually, I just wanted to mention, I sell this pattern. It's actually surprising. Once again, several people, actually, there was one person who was going in for a mastectomy. She gave herself a week to knit this, and she had never knit fission knitting before. But once again, determination as a knitter gets you really far. Like she just took it one step at a time, and it was amazing. I was shocked that she finished it in time. She wanted to wear it into her surgery. I was so touched that she chose to make it. But anyways, I sell this pattern. There's all sorts of ways to get it cheaper, but I donate all the proceeds, and I would always donate the proceeds of everything I make off of this hat. There's a hat and there's a cowl. And I donate that to the Canadian Cancer Society because, yeah, I would just love to see more research go that way.
So I have to ask, which side did she wear out most often?
So the reason why, okay, so I knit her the side, I made her the breast cancer ribbons thing first, and she is really very polite. Like she would never. So actually before I could do the reversible one, I made a hat, a one-sided hat, and it's in, this is the other thing. If you want an easier knit, it's in, do you know what knitty.com is? You can get patterns there for free. They have the hat with just the one-sided F cancer on it. It has been knit so many times because people feel compelled in certain situations to knit it. And anyway, she would never wear that hat. I gave her a couple of them. She wouldn't wear it. She was just too polite. I think she wore them at home, but she would not wear that. And then when I eventually made the reversible one, that's when she took it and she started wearing it, and she wore the F cancer on the inside. Anyways, we are getting close to the end of the time. I just want to go back to some of my announcements again, just as a reminder. So I'm going to add this to the stage. Just a reminder, there's lots of prizes for people to pick up. And you can do that by sending a picture of, if you have a finished object, that would be great. But send us your picture like by around November 30th of wherever you are. We're going to be so excited to see it. And I know Anthony at KFI said the prizes will go out in early December. So the email to send it to is socialmedia@knittingfever.com. But don't worry, it's all on the CAL pages, the knit along pages. Those web pages have all the details for everything. And remember, if you aren't done by November 30th, or if you want to save the pattern, to go and screenshot the pattern for yourself, or you can go purchase the pattern and use the code Fission Knit Along for 40% off. And that's for all Fission patterns. There's links for it at the bottom of the Knit Along pages. And please go get another free pattern because I would love to see you knit more. And these little cowls that you saw Angie and I wear, you can see they're very versatile and they don't take much yarn. So make it out of your leftover yarn from the scarf, or I'm sure you have other beautiful yarns in stash that can easily make a cowl like this. But I think, and here, subscribe to my newsletter too and get another free pattern. So I think that's everything.
So there are a couple more questions. I don't know if you, why do we purl so much?
Oh, okay. That is a question. Okay. That will take the last minute that we need to.
Okay.
I'm going to take this to my other, if we go a minute over, I guess it's okay. Do you want to tell me another question? Because I need to show my sample.
Sure. Can I knit in a different gauge? How do I make a wider scarf?
Okay, I think we covered that with when I showed that this in Harriet Fine, and like, you have the sample in your store where somebody's making the wider scarf as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just choose a heavier weight yarn, and you can knit two. This one has one color, but you can knit two colors together, and you can it's just gauge, right? So you use a heavier yarn, you'll get a wider scarf, and you can make a really nice winter scarf. I'm just going to quickly answer the question about why we purl so much, because I know a lot of people would prefer not to purl so much. And the reason we need to purl so much is so that we can keep this reversible. And what I have here is a little swatch where I've done knitwise garter on this side and purlwise garter on this side. And these are like the design stitches that you're doing on your scarf. Can you see how much more this pops up on this side than this side?
Yes.
The pearl, what the pearl does is it pushes that knit stitch forward and it creates that nice raised stitch. And when I turn this over, you can see that on the knitwise garter side, I get this really ugly groove, and that would be really ugly on a reversible piece of fabric. Whereas on this side, I don't get that really ugly groove, and that's what makes these designs reversible. Anyways, I think we're at the end of our time. I just want to thank Angie and Julie for being on screen with me tonight and making tonight so enjoyable. And I want to thank everybody else for joining us tonight. And a very special shout out to Knitting Fever, Juniper Moon, and Likey Needles for sponsoring this knit along. We're looking forward to seeing your photos. Send them in. We'll share them on we'll share them on all the social media. Thank you for joining us tonight. Bye.